I see I see something.
You'll be joining the call.
There we go. What's up, Jimmy?
Oh, wait a minute. I think I have the wrong camera. Oh, wow.
No, it's fine.
Don't worry, just audio. It's just audio.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Not tonight.
Yeah, you can stay naked, Jimmy. No worries.
We see you every day, actually.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. I had a lot of fun in the set, and also the preparation for this. Honestly, I've never seen anything like this before. This is absolutely amazing. Getting a real invitation, like a letter through the postal office. This is not expected. I was very happy with that. It was very enjoyable. Thank you so much for putting so much effort into this. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, you notice we take it seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how could I say no after all of this, like when you made the invitation?
Thank you very much, man. We really appreciate your presence here and your gameplay, of course. And so how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Preparing for Capcom Cup, obviously.
Yeah.
So
you're the only Ryu, right?
Yeah, I'm the only Ryu.
That's
kind of
that's
like I'm not sure if I should be scared or my opponents should be scared.
Yeah,
you're the poster child, flag bearer in the tournament. Yeah, it's always nice to see a very, very strong Ryu play, because it's becoming rare these days. So it's really nice to see how you play. And I was saying to the guys before that your strength is consistency, I think, and also like how methodical you are, how prepared you are for all the matchups and stuff. So every time I play you online, it's always the same thing. You know everything. It's very demoralizing, but fuck, you're great.
One question I want to ask you about the set. Okay. That punish on the EX shoulder you did when he was going to activate, I think you were like 7-1, something like that.
Something around
close
that,
around and probably the match. It was studied, right?
Which situation exactly? What did he do?
He was in the corner and he did the EX tackle to activate.
Yeah,
but, you jump back and
yes,
with the head bump.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Yes, this is something. Yeah, this is so. This is a classic situation. Urian players. I mean, we have a very strong Urian player in Germany with Efhasa. So actually, he hates it when I say Efhasa. So I should keep saying that, right? So he actually prefers. Whatever, Efhasa, let's go. Anyways, yes, right. So he likes to do that a lot, and every Urian player likes to do that. And at some point, you get a rhythm for when they want to do it, and if you get the perfect back jump, you can punish. And it's a rare situation. Right. Yeah, and you get it's a hard read, because I lose corner control if I'm wrong, but it works out often enough, so it's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was another aspect of your gameplay that we really noticed is how good you are at keeping control of the corner, keeping people in the corner, and that's like very, very difficult to. It's a very difficult thing to do, but you manage the distance very well with Ryu's tools. Like you stay like in the mid range and keep people in the corner in a really, really efficient way. So that's I think that's a key factor to your success lately and always every time you play, I say.
Yeah, I agree. The corner control, this is something, I mean, you mentioned this before the fight started. Ryu got some interesting buffs. So he has a slower light fireball, and this makes it possible to spam fireball at a specific distance in the corner. And if my opponent jumps out, I can still recover in time to do a Shoryuken anti-air. Previously, that was not possible. Only Like characters like Sagat could do that, but now Ryu can do it as well, and it makes the corner control much better.
It's a fireball trap.
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
I wanted to ask you about Sotolongo. What did you know him before? Did you ever see him play, or did you have any expectation before going into this?
Yes, we actually played quite a bit. I think he has many different accounts as well.
Yeah.
Everybody blacklisted it.
No, I don't blacklist like that usually. You have to be like, I mean, if you're lag switching or like there are some really annoying people on the CFN. I mean, I think everybody knows, right?
Yeah.
So
you have one in the middle of the screen, so.
You know what?
There we go. Yes. No. But for real, we have played a lot, and yes, it is very frustrating actually to play him. I think the first couple of times when I played his Gil, he actually dominated me, and it's very confusing when you don't know what to do, and very frustrating. But throughout the years, I've been able to create a strategy against Gil. I think he was confident, more confident in Gil, but nowadays I don't think you can easily win the match with Gil anymore against a good Ryu. The traps, if you know the traps and everything, you can do fine with Ryu, and I think he was not ready for that, you know.
The V shift was a key factor in that matchup. I think we saw you get out of the mix-ups almost every time with the V shift on wake up and stuff. So it's more difficult to set up really inescapable traps with Gil right now in the current state of the game. So and you were prepared. Yeah, we saw that. You knew the matchup. But I think you're right. He was more confident in using Gil at least. And I don't know if he was more confident in the matchup itself, but he himself as a player looked more comfortable using Gil than using Urian. I felt watching it.
Yep, but honestly, I was surprised about the level of play he showed with Urian. I thought at first, I underestimated him, to be honest. He got a game, I think it was the first or the second match that we played when he switched to Urian. And I was surprised by that because, as I said, I have good experience against strong Urian, and I thought he was not going to be able to be ready as much. I noticed that when you try to rush him down, he punishes you very hard. He's really good at that. So I kept like dashing into his forward hard kick, for example. And that was a key element to his gameplay. So I figured I need to slow it down. And honestly, I normally, like against a lot of players, I don't need to do that. I could just be very aggressive against most Urian players and be successful, but only against the top Urians you have to slow down a lot, and he's one of them, you know. That was well played.
Nice.
Yeah, he's very good at punishing you about doing bad stuff. But one thing about the Ryu and Urian match tonight is that at a point he switched to the Trigger 2, and I said no, that's not the right idea, because Fasa plays with Trigger 2, and Jimmy is going to know every option select about it. And we've seen you do the parry on the Tyrant Pressure, and the moment before you were buffering the option select. You know, you parry at a specific time that if he releases with full charge, you parry. Then if it does release earlier, you can block. That's right.
Yes, absolutely. V Trigger 2 is a bad choice, but only for the unblockable gimmick. Fasa, for example, he likes to use the V Trigger 2, but he has to commit to only doing it on hit. And I mean, he's very successful with that. So even like against him, even though I know how to deal with it, it's still a powerful V trigger. But I agree. I think V-Trigger 1 is better against Ryu in general.
Especially against you.
Yes, exactly.
So I have one question too. So I am a very average player. So I'm such an average player in Street Fighter that I use Menat with the V-Trigger 2 just to which, in my opinion, is still the best trigger for Menat. And I know that the many Italian friends here can agree. They always tell me, yeah, it's the best choice for Menat, and I say, yeah, of course. So I was wondering, from my point of view, that I always think how much has been important for the V-Trigger 2 of Ryu to have been to have had such a rework in which it can also sometimes can be used as in the old way, in a very defensive way, but now is mainly used for as a follow-up and as a combo ender, because you used one time, if I'm not mistaken, the pair in V-Trigger 2, and that is something that to me the player you are fighting kind of forget that, oh right, this is still an option for the V-Trigger 2. It's not just a combo extender, etc. So how do you see and how do you, I don't know, consider this tool with these two very different functions and the defensive one, which sometimes is kind of not so used and as a special surprise that you can put out randomly?
So I think you really summed it up pretty well. You mostly want to use it as a combo extension, and it's a very, very powerful combo extension. And because it's used so much as this tool, people forget about the parry. And exactly that's actually what happened. Like, he jumped in with I think there was one moment as Gil, he jumped in with a cross-up, and I did V-Trigger 2 parry. It's a pretty YOLO option, to be fair, so you shouldn't really use it very much. But if I never, like, if he jumps in, there's no way he's gonna cover the very like at the perfect time. It's almost a guaranteed V-Trigger because nobody is expecting it at that moment, you know?
Yeah, it's not going to empty jump. So.
Yeah. Actually, like in general, I used to play V-Trigger 1 only and considered V-Trigger 2 a joke for a long time. And then, like, Capcom kept buffing V-Trigger 2 and made it better and better and better. And I kept saying, it's still trash, it's still trash, it's still trash, until, like, the very, like, recent version, let's say, where it finally became good, you know? And then I had, like, an internal struggle, to be honest. I'm still struggling, to be fair. I can tell you, at Capcom Cup, I'm gonna have the biggest decision to make for me is gonna be whether to go V-Trigger 1 or V-Trigger 2. Okay, like,
it's not going to be based on matchup. You don't think
it is based on matchups, but in most matchups, both V-Trigger 1 and V-Trigger 2 are good.
Okay.
So it's a very difficult choice to make, and in most cases, it's gonna be determined by not the character, but the playstyle and the personality of my opponent.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Yeah. But that's when it's fun, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
We were talking about Capcom Cup. Can I ask you about the format of Capcom Cup, especially the round robin part with the random groups, right?
Yeah.
Is it random groups? What do you think about it?
I mean, I'm really not sure if it's really going to be random. I'm a bit confused, to be honest. I think
thought it was going to be totally random, as I read, but probably it's not. I'm not sure.
We don't really know. Capcom is not giving us information about this, to be honest. It's just written in the rules that it's going to be randomly determined, you know? It would be such a shame to have, like, an entire group full of European players, you know?
That's right. Maybe it's somewhat random, but from separating, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe separating by region. Maybe something
by
like
region, probably. Yeah, probably. That's it.
Yeah. So at the moment, we don't really know what the groups are going to be like. So it's impossible to prepare for Capcom Cup.
Yeah.
Like for the qualification. For the qualification, I knew exactly the 7 opponents that I had in the regional final. Yeah. So I actually made, like, a lot of notes on every player. I wrote down habits. I wrote down, like specific weaknesses and everything. And I can't really do that for Capcom Cup because it's 46 opponents that I have to write down. So
you're gonna need you're gonna need the bigger note.
yeah, right. So it's really tough to prepare, but I think it's gonna make it interesting.
I can give you an advice. I think you have to prepare at least this matchup, Luke. There's 8 of them.
So, Bear, how can you know this stuff? I mean, where and how many years did you study to have this wisdom? I don't know.
It was 7 Lukes. It was 7 Lukes, but then Kawano now switched to Luke. So
interesting. I didn't even know that.
Luke now. So yeah,
I'm okay against Luke. I think Ryu does okay against Luke. Like I've played the strongest European players with Luke, like Phenom, for example, has an amazing Luke, and I do okay. I think I know what to do. Obviously, it's not easy. I mean, it's Luke, you know, so it's gonna be tough. But I absolutely agree. You have to have a strategy for Luke. If you don't have a strategy for Luke, you might as well not go to Capcom Cup, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've got a couple of last questions before letting you go, Jimmy. And one is, how do you feel about the rest of the players in the RedLine Clash? If there is somebody you're looking out for the second phase, for the round robin, there are some people you like, you want to get more experience with. I don't know. Give us your 2 cents about it.
To be honest, I'm not quite sure. Like you said, it's going to be round robin, right? After that.
Yeah. The second phase is the round robin. Yeah.
Is it round robin against all of the Italian players left, or
no?
The
all
winners.
the 6 winners of the first phase.
Oh, okay, right. So it's obviously not all Italian players then. I mean, I would like to get as much practice against the Capcom Cup qualifiers, you know, so Mr. Crimson or Gico, for example. Do you actually say Gico or Gico?
We're not guys. We're not going to disclose this mystery. I mean, nobody.
Come on.
So that should be Gico if you go with the correct pronunciation, but the owner of the name says Gico, so I think it's fair to say.
You can also call him Gambione, but that's just an Italian joke.
Gambione is really difficult, which is kind of slang for champion, but Gico, or Gigo, as somebody in the chat is saying, Gigo also is fine. So.
Go with the G, the Italian version.
In the end, I'm sorry, guys. I would like to know from Jimmy, from the Capcom Cup, players, which are the ones that universally he is afraid of. Like a couple of names in all of the groups of the players in the Capcom Cup, beside the last chance qualifier, which of course is going to be unknown until the end.
So, I mean, if you take a look at Ryu and then you see, okay, who's qualified for Capcom Cup, then you have like Dawson players, for example, like Mr. Crimson. Mr. Crimson is one of the best players in the world, and he happens to play a character that Ryu has a very hard time against. So I wouldn't say I'm afraid against him. Like, I don't really have any fear, let's say. But it's definitely a matchup that I'm going to be struggling with. But at the same time, I've lately feeling pretty confident against Dalsum. And against Mr. Crimson, we had like a couple of good sets lately in ranked where I was like, maybe I can actually do this. So Mr. Crimson is always someone I'm looking out for because he's such an amazing player, and I know it's very difficult to beat him. So if I have to name one, it's Mr. Crimson. And the rest, really, it's hard to pick out any player because all players who qualified for Capcom Cup are so strong and so knowledgeable, you know. I'm wondering what Momochi, for example, who he's going to be picking. If he picks Cody, like it's on the Capcom Cup page, then I think that's a problem for Ryu.
That's going to be rough.
I don't want him to.
He's playing Cody lately.
So I want to avoid that. I think that one is actually really, really tough. And Momochi on top of that, an amazing player, obviously. So yeah, those two. But the rest, I'm just looking forward to Capcom Cup. You know, like whoever it's gonna be, I know it's gonna be a strong player. So if I wanna be successful, I have to be a strong player as well.
Yeah. Best of luck for that. And one last question that is kind of like, yeah, of course it's about Street Fighter, you know. how do you feel? How do you feel about Street Fighter 6?
Okay.
Do you like it? Are you happy about the game? Did you try the closed beta?
Yes. So I've played. I've played the closed beta twice. Unfortunately, the second time it was in the weekend where I was playing the regional final for the Capcom qualification. So I was unlucky on that. So I only got to play on one day. But I mean, I've played a fair share of Street Fighter 6, and I like it a lot. I think it solves every problem that Street Fighter 5 had, and that is stupid comebacks with V-Trigger are gone. I don't think anyone liked that about Street Fighter 5. And the netcode is actually amazing.
Finally.
Finally, right? If there's anything about Street Fighter 6 that I really liked, it's the online.
Yeah,
it's rock solid, and that was just a beta, you know. That was not the released version, and I was shocked, to be honest. I'm using a router that shows me the ping, but I actually didn't even need that, right? Because it actually showed in game as well. And some of these opponents, they were so far away in the beta, I couldn't believe that the connection was so good. It was amazing. I think Street Fighter 6 in every way imaginable is a step up and a step forward for Street Fighter. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
I do like Ryu in Street Fighter 6. Looks kind of good.
Yes, he's very satisfying to play. I like him a lot. He goes a little bit against the philosophy of Ryu being a simple character. I don't think he's simple in Street Fighter 6.
But no character is simple in Street Fighter 6 right now.
Yeah, but he has a lot of special moves, you know, like he has Donkey Kick, he has the Hashogeki, this fireball thing, and so he got 2 more special moves than like compared to
the Denjin charge, yes.
Yeah, he also has the Denjin charge, right? He has a lot of different tools that you normally don't see. Like Ryu's supposed to be this beginner-friendly character, because he's so simple, you know?
Yeah.
He has a very straightforward way of playing. And I think Capcom did a good job, like, balancing it out. Like, for the people who don't want to see the new tools, they can still play simple Ryu.
Yeah. Sure.
But for the competitive players who want to dig deeper, he has an amazing tool set, much more advanced than anything we've had before.
But you can use the dynamic controls in the end, right? You go with dynamic controls, and you're okay. You don't have to think about much.
My son, he's 3 years old now. He loved playing the beta because he can now do the special moves and everything.
Sure, but this is kind of no joke. Like they made a very, to me, positive like introductions with this system to let people have fun with the game. Also, if they are not quite comfortable in general with the commands, etc., you just push a button, you see crazy stuff happening, and it's okay. I mean, it's good to have this option there. So they really made a good call with this decision.
That's great. That's great to hear. Your son is playing.
I just want to say Justin Wong had a 75 win streak with classic Ryu. So with modern Ryu.
That's just Justin being Justin, you know.
I mean, you can still win with the modern controls as a competitive player, even though you're missing out on all of the tools. But it's exactly as you said. It's just nice to see finally Street Fighter being accessible, you know, for anyone who's just trying to get into the game. They couldn't really enjoy it at all, you know, at first. And I think I've always said this is a major problem in Street Fighter, so I'm happy they found a solution.
Yeah, I want to say that Capcom has to be commended this time around because the marketing is working, the polishing on the game is really good. They're taking their sweet time to finish it. It's not like rushed out, everything. And I think this may be the time they breach into the mainstream market with the game. This may
I hope
be.
so.
This may be. And yeah, that would be awesome for all of us. The crazy about the
Sure.
game.
Yeah, the only problem that we can agree on, I guess, in the 6, which is unfortunately very clear, and it's not so discussed. So I think that with all this love and positive energy, we forget about an issue that is there, which is that Cammy is still in the roster, right? So unfortunately, we can't get this character to
Yeah,
be
Gico's
off
gonna
the
get
roster.
mad as fuck. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. He's
Hi,
gonna
G-
be missing his Cammy Queen, you know? He needs his
Yeah.
Cammy Queen.
Hi,
Exactly.
Gico. Hi.
Exactly.
So I
Well.
think Jimmy
Yeah.
has earned his rest.
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
yes, of course.
So he's qualified for the final, which is kind of in half April. I mean, for the final round robin of the RedLine Clash. So congratulations to Jimmy and also to Sotolongo for the night.
Well played.
For the match. Yeah.
So we want to
Thank you
thank
very
you,
much, man.
Jimmy. Thank you for everything, for the interview also. Thank you very much for participating and all the kind words. So
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It was very nice. I was having a great time, and I think the set was enjoyable as well. So
Cool,
thank you so much
cool.
for everything.
yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And best of luck for the Capcom Cup and also for the
Sure.
rest of the Clash.
Yes, thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Bye, man.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Jimmy.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Okay,
Now
guys.
that
there we go.
we
I
can
think
we can close it out.
Yeah.
We can close it
think
out,
we're
but
done.
maybe we can have a look at the schedule again.
Yeah, let's go
So
back
next
to the
one,
schedule.
we didn't say a very basic information which was kind of noticeable there. So every 2 weeks, every 2 Wednesday, we are going
Yeah.
to have a match. So in 2 weeks, we are going to see another interesting match. So Mr. Wolf against Hurricane. So you can't miss it, right? So let's
Absolutely,
see you
absolutely.
in 2 weeks, because I guess this is going to be.
That's
I will be
gonna
surprised.
a good one.
Yeah.
I think
So-
we will have a guest commentator on screen, but we'll
Yeah, it's a mysterious one that kind of showed very early in the streaming. So you might
he's kind of
want
spoiled
to...
everything already, but I
yeah,
don't know how
so-
many people were there to get the spoil. But
Exactly.
we'll see. We'll see.
we're gonna
We'll
have
see what we
fun.
can
We're gonna
do,
have
guys.
fun.
Sure. So I guess
So-
thanks everybody. Thanks
Yeah.
for the people in the chat. Thanks to my comrades AXN, Aku, and the face of
The face.
Italian Street Fighter community, Bert One. And thanks to Sotolongo and Jamie for the participation. And see you in 2 weeks, guys.
Yeah, let's have a good night and follow us on the social media channels. Tweet, retweet, share with your friends about the RedLine Clash. So next time we're gonna be more people and we're gonna have more fun. All right, have a good night, guys.
Have a good night, everybody.